Hey, how you doing? Hey, there's three people on. Hey, how you doing? Who are you? Speak now. Show yourselves. Mm, I'll behave, I promise. Yeah, right. You. That's hilarious. You. Hold on a second, I gotta charge my phone. I'm recording. Hey, cool, you're here. Awesome. Okay, hold on. Um, where is it? Okay, there it is. Now it's working. Now it's working. Clip, copied. This thing is gonna try and give me problems today. I'm here. Don't go nowhere. I have to post comment. There. Alright. Alright, click on that link. Midwest Van Life. There's 5 in the house. Did you get the link? Hope you did. I hope. Can you guys all hear me okay? Let me know. Make sure this is up. Are you guys all hearing me okay? Is that link working? Click on that StreamYard little, click on my link I posted. Yes. Okay, what happened? Hold on. Yes. There it is. Add the stream. Woohoo! Yes. I'm doing this on my cell phone.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Awesome.
How are you?
Doing good. I'm having some technical difficulties with computers and vans and all kind of fun stuff lately, but you know, I'm here.
What's the deal with your van?
Oh, fuel pump.
Oh, okay. Fuel pump?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
that's a
your
bummer.
volume all the way up, dude?
Yeah, it is. Should I turn it down?
No.
No? Okay.
I can hear you, but you're almost like a whisper.
Really? Can you hear me better now? Like right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll talk like this.
Sorry. Hey, everybody, look who I actually got a hold of and like put out my fishing net and like caught him and said, "You're coming with me." No ifs and buts about it. It's
Yeah.
Michael from Midwest Vanlife. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Okay. So what's going on in Chicagoland lately? How are you doing?
I'm good. Just trying to stay busy. just trying to pump out more videos on Midwest van life as much as I can. It gets hard because I work in the film industry, so it sometimes I'll work on commercials and I'll all of a sudden be busy for like a week. So and I can only film so much on a film set because technically we're not supposed to be.
Right.
They say no social media, so technically I got to be careful with what I do. You're not technically supposed to be filming with your phone, for social media on any of the film sets. Depending on what it is, sometimes it's they're very strict on it. Sometimes they don't really care, but most of the time they're pretty strict these days.
Well, hello everybody that's coming on. There's Camp Maintenance Guy, Captain Jack, Chill Adventures, Boondocking with Boomer, Chill Adventures, Ted Johnson. So hey, I got some people on here. Yeehaw at work. I just contacted Michael like a couple hours ago and said, hey, what are you doing? You want to try a second go at this interview thing? And here he is. I was able to contact him. So I still got my questions. So if you're still interested,
sure, go ahead, shoot away.
Okay. Now, how did you even get involved in van life? And do you have a house and a van, or are you just in a house?
So, I'm just in a van. It's just me and my van. I was originally at an apartment in Villa Park, Illinois. I had an apartment with my best friend, and one of the things that we were big on travel. We go to Florida every year. Every year we go to every January we're in Florida. So back in like 2012 or 13 was the first time I went down to Florida with them, and it's pretty much every year since. So I've always wanted to drive around the country with my buddy Keith and his brother or whatever. I've always wanted to travel around the country and in like an RV or something. We always thought that'd be kind of cool. So I ended up buying a Ford Econoliner van, a 2001 E250, which, by the way, I still think is a great van. I like the Transits, but the Econoliners are awesome. Really well done vans. I kind of miss it. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So I bought the van for like a work purpose, and I had this idea. I was like, well, what if we just took two cots, threw them in the back of the van, and just hit the road? So I took a cot, I put it back in the van, and it just the cot thing didn't really work as well as I thought it was going to. So I went on YouTube and typed in "sleeping in a van." Just to get an idea.
Really? So you knew nothing. You knew nothing about van life at all.
Nothing about van life. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, really.
5 years ago, if you were to tell me, "Hey, Mike, you're going to live in a van in 5 years," I'm going to be like, "Wait, what? Where did I go wrong?" But that's not the case at all. I looked up sleeping in a van just to get ideas of, and I discovered van life. All these YouTube channels and people living out of their vans. And I'm I like building stuff. I'm big on building stuff and creative little things. I've always been like that. So when I saw it on YouTube, my mind just exploded. And that was it. Here I am 3 years later living in a Ford Transit full time with my own YouTube channel. With my own YouTube channel. And yes,
that's pretty cool because I mean, like, a lot of people do research and all this kind of work, and they watch 20 million different channels, and your head is so dizzy from it that you're chasing down people with minivans or with, like, how you have the Transit, you said? What do you have?
Ford Transit.
Yeah. Like, I was chasing down those too. You get so obsessed. You're like, I'm gonna get me one, because at first I had the little Kia car, and I was like, I can't do all of that and this, and I was always going to the concerts, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool? Because I always wanted to go to concerts out of state.
You're right.
And I'm like, it would be so cool to go to concerts out of state and not have to drive back or not have to get a hotel room and just sleep in your vehicle.
Yeah.
And I was, also looking for ways to like save money and do different, cheap things and minimalize stuff. And then I got into, I was watching on Pinterest got me into all this. Pinterest led to tiny house living. And I'm like, I looked at all these tiny houses and I'm like, Tina, you can't build a tiny house. You can't drive with a tiny house. So that's not going to work because those are really humongous and there's nowhere to go with them and nobody allows them and la 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 la. So that's how I finally got into it. It got me down to watching Black Opal Dream. Her name was Mary, and she was in a minivan. And I got watching all these other people, and then I got obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Something took over
Yeah.
you. You got obsessed,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that's how I ended up getting with the minivan. I wish I could have been smart enough to get a bigger van to begin with, because a minivan's okay, but now you really need something bigger. So anyway, that's how I did it, because I know you really don't know a whole lot about me, so I was just filling you into how I ended up getting going on it.
No, that's very cool. And it's we all have a lot of similar stories with the YouTube thing. It all started on YouTube. My biggest inspiration was, and I'm sure everybody watching this is going to be like, "Oh yeah, me too." Chrome from Van City Vanlife.
I met him. I
Yeah.
went to Canada to meet him. I went to one of his meetups.
I'm sorry?
I went to one of his meetups.
Yeah.
I met him.
You met him?
Yeah.
I met him right before I started my YouTube channel. I met him. I'm actually in one of his videos, like two of them. I met him in Toronto when we went to Quebec to go to El Campo, the van life meetup.
Oh, I met him right before then because he did his meetup in Toronto at the High Street Park.
Yeah, your sound is like off.
Hold on. Can you hear me okay? His meetup in Toronto.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry, the sound is. Go ahead and say something.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
I wish you could hear what I hear right now.
Can you guys all hear me good? Sound is good from you both.
Yeah, it sounds good for everybody else, but it sounds pretty.
Uh-oh, we lost the mouse. Let's see. He must have bad signal. Another one with bad signal. Oh no. Let me see what I can do without killing this thing. Hold on, you guys. Let me see if I can. Let me see if it'll still pop up. Nope. Darn it. Oh, there is a repeat echo somewhere. Oh, really? Repeat echo. I don't know where it's coming from. Let me see. Settings. Nope. Oh, he popped back in. Add the stream.
Okay, I can
Hey,
hear
you're
you
there.
much better now.
Is it better?
Yeah, totally. It was like a weird echo. Anyways, what were you saying before we got cut out?
I met Chrome at the High Street Park when he was in Toronto.
Wow.
So you met
Yeah,
him like a couple of days afterward or a month afterward?
he was in Toronto. So right when he got his van built,
Yeah.
that beautiful built with the CNC machine, I showed up at that shop
Oh.
on literally his last day, the last like hour they were building it. And
Uh-huh.
then him and I took off and went out to I was not planning this at all. He was just like, "Hey, I'm over here." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna come meet up with you." So
Oh,
I went
cool.
out there to Toronto. I just shot across whatever that is. And he invited me, he goes, hey, I'm going to this Vanlife meetup in Quebec. I have no work for like the next 2 weeks. I'm off. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go with. So we ended up cruising. We ended up taking, I was with him for like the next 5-6 days. And we ended up going all the way to Quebec, just around Quebec City to El Campo, where I was there with him. It was like a 2 or 3 day event and the best time of my life. And that was in the 40 Econoliner. And then when I came back back into the States through Maine. I went to Maine, and as I was driving, that's when I said, I'm starting a YouTube channel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Ford man Kenneth Oakes is in the house, everybody. Woohoo! And he just shared this live stream, so we got to be on our best behaviors now. Yeah, oh my God, that is so amazing because, I mean, you know, me being the fan of Chrome, of course, I went over to his meetup that he had.
Yeah.
And I spent the night in High Street Park. I found out it was oh, he's gone again. Oh my Lord. Uh-oh, hopefully he'll come back. I'm hoping he'll come back. He's got to get some Wi-Fi. His Wi-Fi is going out. Hey, do you have Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I do. I'm on Wi-Fi.
See now the sounds like you're 20. It sounds like you're in China.
Yeah, that's exact. If you can hear me, that's exactly how you sounded. It was like really bad.
Huh?
Yeah, that's how you sounded too earlier.
Really? Oh my God. It's like it's almost like talking to my insurance company again. My insurance company. The lady, I swear to God, she was like, I'm like, okay, testing. 1, 2, 3. Michael,
You,
can you hear me?
I can hear you great. You sound great. How do I sound?
Okay. Well, I got my volume all the way sky high up here.
Yeah, you
Okay,
sound
let's
good.
continue. Let's hopefully he doesn't. Let's see. Let's grab another question here. Okay. How long have you been in the Midwest, like in the Illinois area? Have you always been there or not?
So I'm a Chicago born and raised guy. I was born in Chicago. Never left other than just traveling. So my whole life.
Oh, okay.
And I guess I would consider myself, I'm a nomad, but I stay in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
I stay all over the place. So I'm a Chicago nomad, but
Right.
I also
Well,
travels, whenever I can. I like to, at
if
least.
if you ever watch the Dawn of Van Life, she's in a box truck now, but she went from a car to a van to a conversion van to another thing, and then she finally got the box truck, right?
Yeah.
Well, she works in the theater industry, and you know, she has the home of a box truck of a van. So I
Yeah.
mean, you can travel if you can, or you can just live in it and do your normal stuff, but you're not in a house. You're just doing your normal living
Right.
through a vehicle,
Yeah. And
an
I've been
RV
doing
or whatever. So I mean, everybody that is in this doesn't really have to travel and go here and go here and go there. I mean, you can still have that same van life, but just do your normal life that you'd be doing in a house, but just, and you
right.
don't always have to travel. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And a lot of people ask me, do you travel? Like, where do you go? And I'm like, well, I'm in Chicago. And a lot of my friends and family and people that I work with ask me all the time, where do you stay? And I'm like, I
Yeah.
stay anywhere. Oh, hey,
Hey.
he does that. Say hi, Jax.
Hey. Jax, just like Nomadic Fanatics, one cat's name is Jax.
That's right. No, Jax from Nomadic Fanatic. I loved it. I loved watching his channel. He was another inspiration of mine. I haven't watched him in a while. Okay, Jax. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
that's cool. Okay. Why did you consider being in a van, like as your home?
So So when I started this, I bought the van. I ended up doing like a little build out of it. And this was the Econoliner, and I never planned on doing this full time.
Okay.
I was like, I was into it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was it was more like a hobby. I was like, it'd be cool, because I had the van. We ended up traveling around the country, me and my buddies.
Yeah.
And after we traveled around the country, I decided, okay, I'm going to do a little bit more of a build. And I never planned on doing this full time when I was back at the apartment. But living with my friend was, it's a roommate. Roommates suck. And work, in the film industry, it's up and down. So
Mhm.
everything just kind of made sense to live in the van. So what I did is, for the hell of it, I had this idea of, instead of, well, I wanted to see what it was like to live in a van. So I didn't return to my apartment for 30 days. I did like a month trial period. I told my buddy Keith, and I'm like, hey, I'm not going to come back to the apartment for 30 days. I want to see what it's like to actually live in a van and not rely on an apartment or a house to take a shower, to
Mhm.
to anything. I
Mhm.
want to see what it's like. And in that 30 days, I didn't miss anything back at that apartment. I didn't miss
Really?
I didn't miss anything. In fact, I
Mhm.
forgot about it. And
Wow.
I was working.
It felt good, huh?
Yeah, I was like, I could do this. I was working, and the big thing that sold me, the big thing, I work in the film industry downtown in the city of Chicago. So I lived in a town called Villa Park, which is without traffic, it's only like a 15-20 minute drive. With traffic, it's about an hour. So
Mhm.
the big thing that sold me was not having to drive. If I have a 6 a.m. call, I got to get up at like 4, get on the road at like 4:45, 5 o'clock ish. Where now, if I have a 6 a.m. call, I could roll out of bed at 5:30. I like the
Mm.
idea of not having that. So it worked well for my business, for my line of
Mhm.
work. I gained sleep hours. I gained, after working a 14, 15-hour day, the van is right there. Your home is right there.
Right.
Versus having to get in the car and go wait for wait in traffic to get home. You know what I mean? It
Mhm.
sucks. So
You
that
were
was a
able to
big,
park it in a safe place?
yeah, if I can, depending on where we are. Sometimes we're in different locations. If we're shooting at a studio, a lot of times I stay at the studio, and they let me. It's nice. And I have my spots all around the city. So it's nice being able to wake up wherever I need to wake up. A lot of times I
Mm.
park somewhere based on what I'm doing the next day. That's my big thing.
Okay, well, what do you do about freezing your butt off in the wintertime? Like, I mean, that's one thing about me that I can't, that's why I'm where I am. I'm at a
So
friend's house because, of course, in the minivan, I don't have, I mean, I have a Mr. Buddy heater, but you really can't use it all that great and
right,
lot of. And I would love to be able to be in the minivan all the time because you have your own space. You don't have to be walking on eggshells around other people.
yeah.
You don't have to wake up when other people. You don't have to go to bed when other people go to bed. A lot of. So, I mean, how do you do it?
So I have the buddy heater as well, and I'm looking at it in front of me. In fact, I just turned it on, so I'll show you my little setup right here.
So you do have a buddy. I thought you had a diesel heater.
No, no, I have the buddy heater. I don't know if you could see it any
Yeah,
well. Yeah, I have the buddy heater,
no
and I have a
freaking way.
yeah. So and on the back of my van, I have a box, right? And that box has a 20-pound propane tank, and then I
Okay.
have a line that runs through a little mouse hole that I made, that runs into the buddy heater.
Hmm.
I use the buddy heater when I'm not on shore power. So like right now, sometimes I just turn it, I'll turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, save propane, and sometimes it gets too hot. But if it's like 45 degrees and it gets chilly in there, so I turn it on, but then it gets too hot, I just
Hmm.
crack the max fan. That max fan is almost like a thermostat. So, and
Oh.
here's yeah, so you let heat out, and then I'll
Hmm.
tell you what, there is nothing better than with the max fan cracked
Hmm.
and my back door cracked and
Hmm.
the buddy heater on low when it's that
Hmm.
perfect temperature outside. I feel like I'm outside breathing nice cool air, but I'm warm. It's like the perfect,
Mm. Now,
yeah,
see, well, I have that little buddy heater, and I pretended it was my own little personal fireplace,
right.
you know,
Yeah,
and
you
I
just got
tried
to,
it out, but like in a minivan, it's a lot smaller, and you
right.
don't have a max fan, and you can't have all that. But man, I thought for sure you had a diesel heater or something.
No, I have the buddy heater. Another thing I do is I just have a little plug-in heater, which is down here, right there.
Uh-huh.
And when I'm on shore power, I just use that. Why not? Why set,
Right.
why use the propane when I have that when I'm on shore?
That's
And I'll spend
amazing.
some,
That's amazing.
yeah.
We have a lot of new people in the chat. I want to just say hi to everybody. I know we can't say names because it'll take forever, but I just wanted to let you guys know this is Mike from Midwest Van Life, and he's from the Illinois area. And I was able to find him about, I would say, almost a month ago, and I've been watching some of his videos and going, I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of him to see if I can talk with him because I was doing this thing where I was finding other Midwest van lifers. And so yeah, so you're my second one I found.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this is amazing. So okay.
So, so you have a van build? Like you have a build in your
I
van?
have a no build.
A no build. That's sometimes those are the best. Simple is better, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when your van breaks down, you can just yank everything out of it. And like right now, my bed is on someone's living room, a dining room floor.
Oh man, yeah,
So I mean, it's a twin mattress, and I have it on someone's dining room floor.
right,
So you do what you can you do what you can with what you got, right? At
right,
times.
right.
So yeah. Okay. So continuing on with some of these monstrous questions I have. I have a big white of them. Okay. Let's see, Tina Lindquist. Um, I guess tell us about your van and and your build. And did you have help with your build?
So okay, here I'm gonna stand up and pull the phone off for this one. Um, I can stand up right here. So
Oh,
it's a 2015 Ford Transit,
uh-huh.
medium roof. So it's not the high roof, it's the medium roof, which I'm about 5'10", so this works for me. Over here I kind of got to duck a little bit, but not so much.
Okay.
And um, it's the regular wheelbase, so it's not the extended and it's not the short one. I know they have the short one. I built this van in about a month, and I built it at my dad's house. And did I
Okay.
have help? Not really. I kind of did it all myself. I mean, my dad helped me with some stuff, but for the most part, it was this. I did it all myself. Here's one thing my dad did do. He had an idea, and I just thought it was the coolest idea and extremely effective. So everybody that's in van life that has a Ford Transit or any van, you know that some vans, not all of them, I think the Ford Pro or the Dodge ProMaster is flat,
Hmm.
but a lot of the vans have that arch. You know what I'm talking about
Yeah.
on the ceiling. And we have our curtains, right? The curtains.
Hmm.
So when you have a rod go across, there's like that gap, right, on the
Yeah.
top there. So my dad came up with this idea. He said, "Why don't you just get a curved curtain rod for like a bath, but for like a shower, and just go 90 degrees?" and that's exactly what it is.
Oh.
It's a curved curtain shower,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that so it kind of goes with the curvature of the ceiling.
All right.
I
That's
don't know
good.
why. It's the stupid things that are cool to me.
Uh-uh.
So
That's a good
that
way.
was
Yeah,
my
I mean, you just figure things out, right?
yeah, that was my dad's contribution. And yeah, I built it in about a month. I kind of had a plan when I was doing the build.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I wanted because I had lived in the Econoliner for a year and a half already at that point, and
Okay.
I knew what I wanted and where. And that's the big thing for a lot of people that start van life. They think, oh, I think I want the kitchen over here. I want this over here. You'll figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you about
Right.
where in the van you want things. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
for me, I liked the stove here. I like the TV here.
Mhm.
But
You have a
I built
TV
this.
in your van?
Yep, it's actually playing us right now.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit behind, but yeah, I have a TV. I have a Roku, so I could watch Netflix, Amazon,
Uh-huh.
Hulu. I've got Wi-Fi. I got the Verizon Jetpack, so I
Yeah,
literally
that's
have
what I got
everything.
too.
Yeah, so I got the TV, and I even have a PlayStation 4 that I barely use, but it's there. Um,
Mm.
I built my van. The way I built my van was everything is units. For
Mm-hmm.
example, this whole part right here is not
Mm-hmm.
built into the van. This was built outside of the van, and this whole thing was put in. I put it in, and
Okay.
then I just secured it to the wall, to the points that you can. Same thing with this here. This is all a unit that was built outside of the van, and then once it
Okay.
was complete, I put it in the van and secured it. That's how I built it. So if I ever, and the reason I did it this way is because if I ever had to get a new Ford Transit,
Mm-hmm.
to transfer the build would
Yeah.
not be that complicated. I mean, believe me, it'd be a big deal, but it's not like I had to rebuild everything. I could take this all out, and most of it is just in units. So I would just undo a couple screws, and this whole thing would come out, kind of like the couch. I could take this out. That's I built it where it's easy to change later.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I I like your runaway lights on your ceiling.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. It's
That's pretty
going
cool.
on the outside, but
Um, Todd Johnson is asking, do you have solar?
no, I don't have solar, but I'm going to be getting solar soon. That's going to be a project in the near future. And the reason I want to get solar is because I am looking into getting a 12-volt fridge here, either a Dometic or maybe a cheaper one.
I
So
have
I'm
an
going.
Apple Cool.
Oh, which one is it?
Apple Cool.
And how does it work for you?
Good. And I'm using a 300-watt rock pals, but I'm trying to get a little bit I'm trying to figure out a way to get a more powerful power station. I need at least a 500, but I would really love 1,000.
Yeah,
But
no, I
yeah,
agree. I
but
have two.
a
I
thousand
have.
is $1,000, so that's
I
like a
have.
little out of my league.
I got two 200 amp hour, or I got 200 amp hour Renogy batteries, AGMs, deep cycle,
Hmm.
and they just charge with a charger that you plug in the wall, basically.
Hmm.
And it charges when I'm got the van running, it charges when I'm on solar power, and it charges when I'm running the generator for AC or whatever.
Oh
So
wow.
it's yeah, three ways of charging. But I soon here I'm gonna get solar just to keep a charge on it for the fridge. But I'm gonna be
Hmm.
building a roof rack here soon. Uh, I don't really need it in this winter or in the summer because power is never an issue in the summer. And the reason for that is because in the summer, I have air conditioning. My air conditioner is, it has to run. So I have the generator that runs, which is charging my battery. So it charges anyways. And if I'm on shore, it's charging the batteries and my AC is running.
So
It's hard.
you have air conditioning?
That's my air conditioner right there. That's a portable air conditioner.
Okay.
And that's powered by the generator mounted on the front or
Uh-huh.
shore power.
Oh,
Right.
that's nice. So do you go to a
Right.
lot of campgrounds or
Time to
what?
time. Not as much as I wish I do, but yeah, if I'm at a campground, I could plug in a shore and I got everything I need, you know. Shore's
Right.
king. Yeah, I basically set up where shore's king, but I could run my generator and it's the same thing. But,
What kind
you
of
know, you
generator
can't
do
run
you have?
2000 putt Honda.
Okay. Did you get the Home Depot or something?
I actually think I bought it off Facebook Marketplace. I bought a used one.
Oh. I'm just trying to give
Yeah.
everybody ideas that may not, have that but are looking into it.
Well,
Um,
let me take a walk. I'm sure people are wondering about the generator on the front, so
yeah,
I'll
you
take a
were.
walk out.
Now, for me watching your videos, you were also talking about how people were complaining that you tapped into your gas tank.
Oh yeah,
See, I do watch your channel.
there's the generator. There's where it's tapped in.
Uh-huh.
So it's just mounted in the front. So yeah, I basically tapped into my gas tank. That way I can fuel the generator. I can keep it topped off basically. And the reason for that is when you're running the generator overnight, it dies in about 6 hours. You can only hold so much fuel in that little
Hmm.
tank. It's about a gallon. Where so, if you go to bed at midnight, 6 a.m.,
Hmm.
it dies. And I'm not going to bed at midnight. I'm going to bed much earlier. So unless
Right.
you get up in the middle of the night and fill up the generator, which sucks, I
Yeah.
want an extended runtime. So I just figured, well, I have a big tank. Why can't I just tap into it? And it's people were complaining, or not complaining, but putting down the way I tapped into it. I literally drilled a hole in my gas tank and put in a tap, a fuel tap, which
Mm,
sounds scary, and it is. But if it's just as scary as cutting a hole in the top of your roof, put in a
right.
mask. If I didn't know what I was doing or was not wasn't sure of myself, I never would have done it. But I
Hmm.
was very confident in it, and it's very simple. I have a couple videos. I actually have like three of them. One tapped into my gas tank, a 6 month update, and then a 1 year update on how I did it. I'm still yet to have any leaks or any issues.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
there
sure
was
you
a
can really help me with my minivan. If anyone sees that I'm on my way to Illinois, you'll know why.
there's this company in Chicago that does custom vehicles, like builds. Like it's more
Hmm.
he does more for like what would you call it, like race cars
Yeah.
and custom, you ever see those cars that have the hydraulics that do this?
Yeah.
He does stuff like that. He does all
Mm,
sorts of custom stuff for people, motorheads, and all sorts of stuff. Well, anyways, he asked me how I tapped into my gas tank, and I explained
really?
to him. Yeah, I explained to him how I did it, and he's like, "Oh wow, he goes because he needed to tap into a gas tank for a project. He
Hmm.
needed a fuel port, and
Okay.
he was doing some research, saw that I did it, hit me up. He's like, "Hey, Mike, how did you do that? Because I have a similar project that I need to do." And so I showed him how I did it. And it's rock
Mm-hmm.
solid. It's a rock solid system. There's nothing. People put it down because they just don't understand it. And
Hmm.
when they don't people tend to put things down that they don't understand.
Right.
So I responded with a 6 month and a 1 year update video.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
saw that. I've been watching your channel. I'm like, I wonder why people are giving him so much crap about that because it seems, I mean, if it works for you, then why are they giving you such a hard time on it?
because it's scary. Think about it. You drill a hole in your gas tank. Something about that is scary.
Yeah, because you can blow
You know.
blow up or the
Yeah.
fumes could kill you or
Well, it's not so much the fumes that could kill you or blow up. It's if anything is going to go wrong, it's going to leak. You know. And I'll tell you right now, I have a rubber hose. It's a fuel hose. It's a fuel line that
hmm
goes to the tap.
hmm
And here in the next few months, I'm probably going to go ahead and replace it because over time, rubber fuel lines that are exposed to elements tend to oh God, there's a name for it. Dry rot. They dry
yeah.
rot. So they
Hmm.
start to, so every few years you just replace a fuel line. It's nothing. It's a very simple little process. And I'm going to be doing that in the next few months or so, just to keep it fresh and, you know. But yeah, a lot of people were just scared of it and think it's crazy, and it is. It's definitely not a normal thing. Not many people drill holes in their gas tank. What I did is I drove an
Chrome. I bet if Chrome ever heard you talking about that, he'd be like, dude, I want to do that with my van.
maybe, I don't know. I don't think he needs to. Well, hold on a second. Okay, a diesel heater works the same way.
Yeah,
A diesel heater takes fuel from your gas tank,
right.
which means you have to tap into it.
Tap into a diesel fuel tank so you could have it
Right. So
mounted
he has
somewhere.
to, he has to tap into it too. What
Hmm.
people were saying is there was an auxiliary fuel port on the top of my tank,
Hmm.
but the reason I knew about it, and I actually was originally going to go to that, but after doing my testing, the concern was that the fuel pump in the generator was not going to be strong enough to pull the fuel all the way up to the top of the gas tank and over to the generator. Where the way I tapped was more closer to the bottom of the fuel tank, a few inches from the bottom of it, right?
Hmm.
So that way it was more of a gravity fed fuel, you know? So that way
Mm.
the fuel pump on the generator doesn't have to work as hard because the
Oh, that's
fuel,
good.
right? That's why I did it the way I did it.
Did
And
you research before you did all that?
totally, I basically added like a petcock. If anybody knows what a petcock is on a motorcycle, it actually works the same way.
Ron
A
C
pet,
might know.
yeah, yeah, it literally works the same way. On the bottom of the fuel tank of a motorcycle is a hole, and a petcock is mounted in that hole and is sealed, right? I mean, there's two screws and there's a rubber gasket. It's sealed, and fuel goes through it and into the carburetor. It's
Hmm.
the same. It works the same way with what I did. I drilled a hole. I basically added like a petcock type thing where a line goes to, instead of a carburetor, goes to the generator, which is also carbureted. So yeah,
Ah,
that's how I did that so I consistently have, I can just start that generator and it just runs. RVs are set up the same way that have generators. They're tapped into the gas tank.
right.
It's a very similar procedure. It's not that complicated. It's just a scary thought. Most people are not
Right.
going to
Well,
do it.
see, when people are in an RV, they don't have to know all of that. They're
No.
just in it and it just works and they don't
Right.
question it. But that's
Right.
what you have to do in order to do that.
Right. I'm a self-built. I'm a DIY guy. Do it yourself. I do everything myself. I built this all myself. So I'm familiar with a lot of this stuff.
Hmm.
Motors and you know stuff like that. I work on motorcycles all the time.
Oh,
So like,
that's really cool. There's a
yeah.
lot of new people in here saying hi and that they just subbed to you and all that. The last
Oh,
long
cool.
road trip, Janice, Cape, okay, I can't talk. Camp maintenance guy, Linda Barker came in. And if I didn't see you guys, thank you for coming on in and hanging out with me and Michael from Midwest Vanlife. He's out in the Illinois area, and he's telling us how he pretty much stays in the van and all the stuff that he has and why he's been in it. And uh, do you see this as being something like long term, or are you taking it year, month by month, or whatever?
As of now, I'm a single guy.
Hmm.
Um, so I have no plans. I have no plans of changing my lifestyle anytime soon, unless I meet somebody and life happens.
Hmm.
Then that will become priority. But as of now, I'm taking this ride I'm taking this as far as I can go because this is just awesome.
Mm. The last long road trip is asking you a question. Do
Okay,
you know how to change a filler valve on an RV propane tank?
a filler valve on for a propane tank. Oh yeah. Um, I would have to. It's the type of thing I would have to see it, but I'm sure it can't be that complicated. It's a filler valve. Yeah, it's one. It's on the bottom. It's where you to fill up your propane tank. I'm
Yeah.
sure I could. I'm sure if I saw it, I could figure it out.
Okay. I I guess she has that issue going on, or knows somebody, or whatever. Uh, Okay. So what other hobbies do you also have? Because I know I've been, with me watching your channel, I don't know if anybody else has been as nosy as I have been, but if you want to talk about your other hobbies, and she's asking, can she do it herself?
Can you do it yourself? You can. You just gotta know what you're doing. I would make sure there's no it's empty first before you start changing the valves. Make sure there's no propane in it. In other words, use all the propane up, so that way it's empty before you go
Mm-hmm.
changing the valves. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to open it and there's pressure in there, and you don't want it to go. As far as
Right.
I know, I could be wrong. I haven't
No,
really
that sounds
investigated too
good.
much,
Make sure your
but
propane tank is
right,
empty before you even try and work on it.
right.
That's a good one.
I could be 100% wrong. I'm just kind of going by, you know,
Kind of like common sense type deal.
yeah, yeah. Like for example, before I drilled into my gas tank, I made sure it was empty. I even jacked the van up where it was on the side, so any remaining fuel would be on the opposite side.
Mm, that's good.
Um,
One, I know I'm having a fuel pump issue with my minivan, so I'm hoping to get it back within a couple of days. 'Cause
yeah,
being without it is really tremendously hard.
I can imagine. I can't imagine.
Okay, so now
So
what about your hobbies? Let's get back on your
yeah.
hobbies.
So as far as hobbies, I love boating. I have a boat that I just recently got last year, and oh my God, was that a fiasco to get it running and everything, get it to 100%. But so I have a boat. I love boating. I love water. I also have an airplane.
Holy, what?
Yes, it's an ultralight airplane. I have
Okay,
an ultralight aircraft, and that is out at a airport called Cushing Field.
okay.
I did a video called Flying Lessons
Hmm.
a little bit earlier on in my channel, and that's the only video I've done about the flying. But this year I'm going to do a lot more with Midwest van life, and I got to keep making more videos. But totally left out the flying thing in Cushing Field. So I have it's a what is it called? Quicksilver. It's called a Quicksilver 2S Sport. It's a
Oh.
two-seater. You're
Hmm.
outside. It's one of those airplanes that you can fly. So that's a hobby. I love doing that, and I can't wait to get back to it. It's just a little chilly right now.
Hmm.
Um, surprisingly, I'm a huge outdoorsy guy, but I've never been into fishing, and I want to
Okay.
get into fishing here soon. So I'm gonna try getting into that. I love projects. I'm always doing some type of project. Always have something going on, and that's how I keep myself busy. So if I'm not working, and I'm not making a Midwest van life video, I am doing some projects, and I've been trying to make videos on the projects that I'm doing because a lot of them revolve around the van.
Okay.
So yeah, welding, you know, working on motorcycles and little stuff. My sister has a little boy now. He's 2. His name's Tommy. He's my nephew. So
Oh.
Bill, my dad and I just bought a go-kart. Well, my dad did bought a go-kart that needs to get running and rehabbed. So that's going to be a little project, and it's going to be for him when he's like 8. You know,
That's cute.
so yeah. So it's I stay busy with projects. I'm a big project guy, and I do love to travel whenever I can. That's another hobby I would
So
say.
what part of Florida were you in?
I was in St. Petersburg.
And it was crazy because I was down there. I went after we went to the Mayberry meetup in October. I went from North Carolina. I visited North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. I was door dashing,
Cool.
and then I went into Florida, and I stayed there for a month and a half. And yeah, so I was sleeping at the Walmarts and going to little parks and stuff and door dashing and checking out different cities and stuff. And I left. I wanted to stay, but some of my plans didn't work out. I wanted to see family down there, but they didn't have time to see me. So I decided to come back up here to Michigan, and I had to have my van. I had to have the back brakes done. Then I needed a battery, and now it needs a freaking fuel pump. So it's just
Or
really mad at me from that trip. It's just like payback.
I had
Payback.
when I was on my way down to Florida back in January 1st,
Uh-huh.
beginning of January with my buddy Keith. I had an ignition coil go on me on the side of the road.
Oh,
Um,
really?
I was able to replace it on my own. In 10 minutes, I was back on the highway.
Oh my I need to start hanging out with you a little bit closer. Hey,
I also had another ignition coil because it's 6 cylinders, so I have 6 ignition coils. I had another one go out on me in Dallas when I was on the Oklahoma trip. When I was going to Oklahoma, I have a video on that too. I went down when I came back from Florida. I was
Mhm.
here for 2 weeks. Work was still slow, so I was like, "Screw this! It's cold. Work is slow. There's no work." So my
Yeah.
buddy in Oklahoma was like, "Hey, come to Oklahoma. We go camping." And I'm like, "Sure." So I drove down to
Wow.
Oklahoma. Of course, when I got to Oklahoma, there's a winter storm was coming through for
Mm.
the next few days. So we ended up pushing it, and I ended up going down to Dallas to see a friend from high school for a few days. And when I was down there, I had another ignition coil went on me, and
Oh my goodness.
I actually made a video about that and how to do it.
Oh,
Because
that's good.
it's ignition coils go. They go over time, And I actually carry spare ignition coils
Oh,
and a
that's a
pack of
smart
sticks
thing.
just in case.
I got new tires last year, and don't you know, by this year now I need new tires again this year because me door dashing and traveling, I killed those tires. I
Yeah,
killed them.
yeah. I got some of these beefy tires that I got. And they're nice, but I could tell they're starting to. I'm putting some wear on them. But I
Hmm.
like them just because when I was launching a boat, I wanted to have better grip, when I'm going into the water. I've seen too many videos of people launching their boats on a boat ramp, and before you know it, their entire truck is in the water. Well, this is my house,
Exactly.
and my dog is usually in the back. So, no, I'm
Yeah.
playing it safe.
Did you take your boat to Florida or no?
I did. I did.
Oh, you did. Oh my
Yep.
Lord.
Tampa Bay,
I was
the
just
whole area.
there. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I went right under the Sunshine Bridge.
Was that the Riverwalk Bridge?
No, the Sunshine Bridge is the bridge that connects basically Bradenton and like Sarasota area to
Oh,
St.
okay.
Petersburg. Yeah, there's like a
Okay.
bunch of little islands, and then there's a huge bridge. Um, we went under there. It's huge. It's a massive bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, see, yep. But I really enjoyed going down there and just I wanted a feel of it, and I know I can do it. I know
Yeah,
I can stay in the minivan and do what I was doing, but I didn't have no one really to talk to. I didn't have
yeah,
no one's driveway. I don't have a lot of money. So I wasn't able to go to a lot of the state parks and pay for the camping, and I didn't get to go to any of the campgrounds and all that. You'll see me going to a lot of like gas stations and Walmarts and different places like that and if I get to do meetups or let's see if I get to do any kind of special camping, it'll be, with like meetups and stuff, but I
right,
still enjoy it, and I want to be able to my goal is to be in the van and knock off some of this debt that I have so I'm not
right,
so stressed out.
right, right.
That's what I would really enjoy doing because I don't make a whole lot of money. So it's like, oh, so I'm doing what I can do. And sometimes, you end up being in someone's place for a little while.
And then of course there's a hiccup where a fuel pump needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
There's always a speed bump somewhere.
Yes, there is. So, a lot of people, this is for basically the people that don't really know about what you do. So tell us how you support yourself and your travels for
Well,
all the new people that's on here that don't really know about your channel.
Um, so I work in the film industry as a freelancer. I'm part of a union, Local 476. I'm a studio mechanic. So I work on like the TV shows, mainly commercials these days, and I work, I get calls here and there, and I work, I'll work 1 week, and then I'll have the next week off, and
Did you
then
work on the set of Empire?
I did, yeah, I came. I went out there just for as a day player a couple times. I was never
Okay.
full time on it, but
Mhm.
yes, I've been on that set. Are you
I'm so
familiar
mad
with?
at Jesse.
Yeah, that whole thing was. I don't even know.
I
Craziness.
know.
Are
I'm
you
just saying.
familiar
I'm
with?
just so mad at him because I really like that show and he really screwed it up.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the TV show Shameless?
Yes.
Okay, so I worked on that show full time since season two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was very involved in that. In fact, the past few years, the past like 2 seasons, I was a key grip, the a department head on that show, and
Mm.
that was probably one of my favorite jobs. It's I've been working on forever, and but of course because of COVID, the last season they didn't come to
Hmm.
Chicago. They stayed in LA to finish it out, so that kind of sucks for us. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I work in the film industry and I do relatively well with it. The business is, it's up and down just like anything. And then as a side gig, I work on motorcycles on the side to keep an extra money coming in. And I have a lot of free time, which is nice. Here's the other thing. I don't, before van life, I mean, now I don't need to make as much money
Something
because,
happened to your sound.
can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you sound like now you're in a tunnel.
Really? Weird. Okay, let's see. How about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you sound like a mouse.
Um,
Now you're in a tunnel.
how about now? Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Okay, that's weird. I've literally got this up on the TV so I could turn it up and listen to it and see how I sound live. But anyways, where was I at? Oh yeah, making money. I I yeah, the film industry and the motorcycle thing, keeps me busy, and I get a lot of time off. So I save as much money as I can. There's
Hmm.
expenses, of course, in van life. I mean, I do have a storage unit. I love my storage unit. I use it to switch out ice packs from my cooler. I have my clothes there. I keep my motorcycle there. I have my desk there where I can edit videos. So
Mm.
that's $200 a month.
Okay.
Um, so there's that expense. The boat, I have the boat. I got to store that somewhere. That's $80 a month. You
Hmm.
I have a mailbox. My mailbox is at the UPS store. That's $150 for the year. It went up. It was 100.
Yeah,
Still pretty cheap.
everything's going up.
Everything. I know it's crazy. So there's that expense. I still have my phone expense. I still have fuel expense. So okay. So here's something for everybody. Um, gas. Yes, it went up. But here's the thing, and this is just my opinion. I see a lot of videos where people go, hey, look, we're paying the rent when they put gas in their van, but
Hmm.
I never considered gas a van life expense because if you're living in a house or an apartment and you have to drive to work, you're still spending money on gas.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not really, so I never really consider that a living expense. You know what I mean? Does that make
Mm.
sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, gas is not really much of a living expense. It's more of just a regular normal life expense.
Yeah. You're gonna have it no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, there's still expenses, but I do save. I invest wherever I can, but that's how I make my money. And if I
That's
have some
cool.
time off, like right now, I'm working tomorrow, but then the next 2 weeks I'm working, but then after that, I got nothing. So I could,
Oh, really?
yeah, I could potentially leave for a week. Go drive around Wisconsin. Maybe go see you in Michigan. You know,
It
I
did it again.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of time where I can go travel, and there's times where I leave, and then I won't come back until I get a call. But of course, every time I leave, I get a call, right? So,
Mm, okay. So what made you decide to have a YouTube channel?
um, well, I saw the success Chrome was doing when I was with Chrome. I see he was doing it. He was filming while we were together, like
Hmm.
going to I saw how he did it, and I was like, I don't really know. I was just driving, and I thought, because I do a lot of things. I didn't really follow other people's examples in van life on how they did things. I kind of picked it up and did it my own way. So
Right.
I thought I might have a good I have some ideas that maybe will work for others. Also, there's nobody else in the Midwest that does a van life channel that I know of. I haven't seen it, at least. I just haven't seen it. So I
Hmm.
figured, they're all like out west and beyond
Right.
the in Canada. So I figured, well, let's start a channel called Midwest Van Life. See what's if I could build up a community here in the Midwest.
Well, I know there's a couple YouTube channels that are like for Michigan and like Midwest area, so I'll connect you with them.
Now that'd be great.
So
One,
yeah.
one of these days we'll have to do a van life, like a
Yes.
big 3-day event type thing.
Yes,
So
for sure. For sure. For sure, we will definitely do something like that. It might even be this year, if possible.
maybe.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, so where would you like to travel to this year?
I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but I definitely want to get out to Vancouver. I definitely want to jump on 90 and get out to Seattle and then go
Mhm.
up to Vancouver and maybe visit Chrome again. Because if I just go that way and hit all those states, take my time getting there, I will
Mhm.
officially can say I've been to all the regions of the United States. So that's my next big one is Seattle, Vancouver area. But I am going to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan this year, going to Munising.
You're going where?
Munising, uh,
Okay.
Pictured Rocks, Lake Superior, the UP.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're going up there at the end of July.
Then are you gonna go to the oh God, Tina. The the bus meetup. God, my brain. Um, there's a big old thing gonna be up there. Um,
I
in
haven't heard.
August. August. You might be going there the same time.
We're going maybe. Yeah, because we're at the end of July is when we're going up there. But
Yeah. But
we're coming back right before August, I think. But
oh,
I could always shoot back up there. Not a big deal. It's only a 6-hour drive.
yeah. I will definitely send you all the information. My brain, you know how sometimes you have the words, you just can't spit them out.
Yes,
They're like
yes.
in your brain, and you're like so embarrassed. Just like earlier today on the phone, I kept like getting mixed up with behind the time or the hour before. Oh my, like, oh my Lord, just Tina, stop before you really make a complete knucklehead out of yourself.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I did that making a video.
Uh-huh.
Where I'm just like, this is stupid. Cut. Start over.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
I
I went to the bus thing up north, the hip no, it's not hip I went to the hippie fest, but it's also the the thing I was able to meet Panda from Aja from Pandemonium and Full Tiny House. They were going to the big meetup with all the buses up north, up in the Upper Peninsula. And that was my first time actually going there. I had never been up there, and I've been living in Michigan. Yeah, the Schoolie. Thank
schooling.
you, Captain Jack. The Schoolie Fest, the Schoolie
Yeah,
thing. I went up there last summer, and they're having it this year. I think August 1st through the 8th. And I think that's when it is. And I want to go up there again. I could probably only spend a couple of days there, but
hey,
It's
I'm
amazing to
going up
go
to the
there.
UP. I'm going up to the UP on I
Yep.
think July 22nd through the 30th, something like that. So maybe I'll
School
just
UP.
stay.
There we go. Thank you,
Yeah,
Grandma Ray. Brain is hurting.
maybe I'll just stay and attend that too.
I will send you the information so you can register.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for helping my brain out because sometimes my brain just, with all the stuff that's going on with the minivan and everything, I'm surprised I'm even doing this live. The only way I did this live today was a kind of mic. I got this crazy idea to message him real fast to see if he was available, and if he wasn't available, I wasn't going to do this live because I had nothing to talk about. I don't
Yeah,
want to bore people. My thing is, I don't want to bore people. If I'm not going to watch it, then I'm not going to try and make someone else watch something that isn't
right. And
entertaining or
I
something,
with a
you
lot of
know.
my videos, I feel the same way. Like as I'm editing them, I'm like, man, it's a lot of talking. I'm wondering if people are just gonna click off of it.
Yes.
Sometimes I bore myself. I'm like, okay, I got to get more interesting on this. But I know, I
Hmm.
totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, thank you for helping me out. Okay, so we already talked about the campgrounds. Or have you ever been to the BLM lands? BML lands?
Um, I actually have
You
one
have.
time. When I was out in Arizona, and of course, I think I would know. Yeah, I was doing Midwest Family because in my channel, I've got some gaps where there's like new videos,
Hmm.
and there's a big gap. There's like a 6 or 7 month gap before I got this van, and when I went out there with my ex girlfriend Sarah,
Your
it was
your 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 sound is getting really bad.
can you hear me okay now?
It has like an echo.
So weird. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna try something. I
Do
just
you
turned
have
it
do
off.
you have the volume on your TV going or something?
No, the TV's on. I turned the TV off. How do I sound now?
Oh, better.
Oh,
Yes.
weird. I'll just leave that off then.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem. So, I went out. We did a vacation in January instead of going to Florida. This was like 2000. Actually, I think it was 2020. Instead of going to Florida, we drove around the country. Me and
Hmm.
my girlfriend Sarah. We went down to Texas, Dallas, Austin. We went straight across Mexico. Anyways, we went. We just did a big circle, and I stayed at some BLM land in Arizona, and it was pretty cool. It was it was pretty cool. I would love to get out there and do that more, but it's just it's just land. That's all it is. Just land and people in vans and RVs. And they move around. That's all I know.
Your
So,
your sound just came back. Say something.
can you hear me now?
Yes, a whole lot better. Yes,
Weird.
a
What was the
whole
last
lot
thing you heard me
better.
say?
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we're hoping that everybody can hear us okay and everything. And I really appreciate that everybody is still sticking around with us and listening to us and hanging out with us. Um, what has been your favorite state to go to so far? Hey,
Ooh,
Barbara.
that's a tough one. You guys can hear me, right? You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite state? That's a tough one. Uh, I do like the mountains. There's something about them out in the desert, out there,
Hmm.
out in Arizona. There's also something about the sunsets in Florida.
Oh,
You
I
know,
loved it. I was showing everybody that too.
I honestly couldn't answer it. I don't know what my favorite state is. They were all. I do like Wisconsin. I don't know why. Something about Wisconsin I just like, but I uh I would have to
What about
say
Tennessee?
I've been through Tennessee and it's gorgeous. But I would have to say if I were to have okay, put it this way, if I were to have another home
Hmm.
outside of Chicago,
Hmm.
it would have to be St. Petersburg, Florida, because I'm so familiar with it. So
Okay.
other than my home here, I guess I would answer I would say Florida right now. And that's only because I've been going there for so long, and I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with the St. Pete. When I'm there, it's like I'm home. So I guess I would say right now I would say Florida.
Okay. W- I'm reading my questions and my and some of these I've already went through and I didn't even know it. These questions were like from what 3 weeks ago. So, um, tell us about your dog and how does that work out for you when you are at work?
Good question. That's actually a really good one. So let's include him on the video, huh? I'm gonna go into the other room. There's his sleeping spot. Hey, Jax. Um, so okay, to start from the beginning, how Jax came into my life. When I was doing that 1 month uh, test period in the other van that I
Mm-hmm.
was talking about earlier, I had a dog named Rox. Rox was a golden retriever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rox had some issues and he actually died in the van.
Aw.
Yeah, it was a really bad day. He had some health issues, previous health issues, and basically, if anybody's familiar with the disease Blasso, it's a fungal disease that dogs get. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Rox had it, and I took him to the vet, and I gave him they had this medicine for him, but it came and he was better for a while, for a few months, but then it came back really bad. I couldn't get him to take the medicine, and I went to the vets, and they uh, they sold me this thing that literally it's a stick that you put the medicine on and to get it down his throat. So I put
Mm-hmm.
him in the van. I went back to pay, and I came back, and he was dead. It was
Oh,
horrible.
oh
Yeah.
my God.
So that I almost went back to the apartment and said, "Screw it, I'm done with this van life thing," because it was during the test, that 1 month test. But I
Yeah.
stuck it out. I finished the van life test with it without the dog, and it took me a while, but I was like, I gotta have a dog. I love, I gotta have a dog, you know. So I
Mm-hmm.
started searching, and my sister gave me this app called Pet Finder. So I was going through and I was looking at different dogs, and I found him. I found Jax,
Mm-hmm.
and we met at a PetSmart. It was one of those. It was a rescue. He was a rescue dog.
Mm-hmm.
So and I saw him in the PetSmart, with the rescue people, and I immediately was like, "What's up, buddy?" You know, and that's it. So he's been my buddy ever since. So Jax, when I picked him up, they weren't exactly sure how old he was. They thought
Mm-hmm.
he was around 2 to 3 years old. Well, I've had him for about 3 years, so he's got to be somewhere around six
Mm-hmm.
years maybe.
Yeah.
And he travels with me everywhere. So as far as work, I kind of have a little bit of a system. I actually want to upgrade that system. I was actually in Villa Park here earlier today with my dad, and I saw a place that does dog sitting, and I
Yeah.
was going to go check it out. I actually didn't have time, but I was going to go check it out. So when I work, if I'm working at a studio and I know that we're going to be there all day long, I have no problem with leaving Jax in a van. As long as I can go out there periodically to let him out. Also, it depends on the time of year.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in the summer, like in July, I won't do it. Why? Because it's too hot. And some people say, "Oh, just put the max fan on." No, it's too hot for my dog to do that. So um, at the studios, I could be on shore power, where I could plug in and have my air conditioner running. And there's been times where I left him in the van and the air conditioner was running, the portable, and he was fine all day long. I went back out there in lunchtime and it was like 60 degrees in the van, but like 80 something outside. So
Mm-hmm.
let him out. And then I even have people in my crew that go check on him time to time.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
yeah, so he's well taken care of. On this one movie I did last year, he actually was hanging out on set with us.
That's
I was a
cool.
key grip, so I was able to do that, but sometimes I'm not in a position where I can do that.
Right.
Um, the other thing I do is when we're on locations and I know it's going to be like a 14-hour day and I can't get back to the van and I'm not in a situation where I could have somebody go look, check them out, I put them up in what we call it's an app called Rover.
Mm-hmm.
Rover is a babysitting app for dogs. And
Right.
I will usually pre-plan this where I'll contact. I got several people around the Chicagoland area that I've gone to that I repeatedly gone to, and I'll put them up in a rover for the evening. Or sometimes
Mm.
I put them up in a rover for a whole week one time, and it's like $20 a night, you know. So it can get expensive, but I'll tell you what, knowing that Jax is dealt with properly and being let out and not in a hot van for 14 hours, I'll pay the stupid $60 for the week or whatever, you know.
Right. Well, that's a real good deal because I might have to do something like that because I have Mr. Budman. He's 13 years old. I don't know if you can
Uh,
see him.
yeah,
Yeah, there's Buddy.
he
That's
just
my
came
little
out to say
buddy.
hi.
So me and Buddy's gonna have to come and visit you in Chicago.
Yeah, man.
How far are you away from Chicago?
Right now uh, I'm about 15, 20 minutes west of Chicago right now.
Oh, that ain't bad.
I'm actually about to go in the city tonight for a job because
Oh,
of
really?
tomorrow I'm working, so I'm going down there tonight to park at
Oh,
the
okay.
studio where I'm working tomorrow.
Oh, well, see, the one job that I've been doing for like 18 years is I work for a dealership. I'm a dealer trade driver. So
Oh,
we would, drive the Audis or whatever. We would drive them into Chicago and everything. And I have video footage on my page of going into Chicago, going all the different little areas and Ohio and Kentucky and everything. So that's what really I've I've always loved traveling and seeing new places and going. So me, I'm always trying to find jobs that kind of help my interests. You know like I love going places and seeing things and driving new cars was really nice. But
yeah,
now
I'm
with
sure.
this car dilemma and this chip dilemma and this whole world dilemma that we're going through, you can't really do any car driving jobs. So that's why I'm doing the DoorDash, and I found another little second tiny little job that I'm trying to see if it's going to work out, but I don't know.
Right,
We're still in the honeymoon phase,
right.
so type deal. So anyway, now you were talking about your storage unit. Do you have any merch or stickers?
No, not yet. I was actually thinking about getting some, but I mean, there's tons of different companies that do that, but I wouldn't
Hmm.
even know where to. I honestly wouldn't even know where to begin the start of this as far as like selling them.
Right. Well,
But
I have a small one that I send to people. Um, I have a small little sticker that has me at one of the national parks, a
hmm,
picture of me at one of the national parks in Ohio. So yeah.
I do. The only thing that I do have, and I made this for myself,
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
my hat.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen you wear that.
and I wear it all the time. And one of my things is I put this up on the dashboard while I'm
Hmm.
driving, and I just get like a shot of the hat
Hmm.
while I'm driving in the background. I don't know. I've done that shot a couple times. It always looked cool to me. So
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a favorite video that's on your channel?
my favorite video. Ooh, um, that's a good one.
Well,
I got
thank you.
I gotta think about that. I just did a video recently that I enjoyed watching. The one Last Days on the Road when I went to the Garden of the Gods.
Mhm. Yep, that's where I want to go because I watched your video.
Yeah, and it just turned out with the music. It just turned out really cool. You know, I was just like, oh, that turned out cool. I even kind of liked it. So
Yeah.
I would say I don't know if that one's my favorite. I gotta think about it. I've come up with a lot of videos. Um, I gotta think about it, but right now, as far as my recent ones, I found myself watching that one a couple different times just because I was like, damn, this turned out kind of cool with the rocks and all that, you know. But other than that, yeah, I would say that one's probably right now my favorite.
Have you been to any of the national parks?
Which one's that? That one is a national park, actually. Shawnee
Oh,
National Park.
okay,
Garden
cool.
of
Well,
God.
then uh, which one is it again?
It's called Shawnee National Park.
Shawnee National Park.
Yeah, it's in southern Illinois. The
And I'm
nearest,
going to it.
yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
That that
It's
might be
awesome.
my 13th or 14th national park because I want to go to. There's a couple of them in in Ohio. There's the what is it called? Hold on, let me go to my notes. It's the First Ladies National Historical site in Canton, Ohio, and then I also wanted to go to the James Garfield National Historical one in Mentor, Ohio. When I ever do get my van back, when I ever do get to go to these little trips, but I do want to go to a couple of national parks. But I do want to go to that. I saw that that was one of my favorite videos on your channel. That
Nice.
that park. So I definitely want to go there.
Yeah, it's Garden of the Gods. It's definitely worth checking out. I've been there several times now, and um, it's just something that you never would expect to see in Illinois. Put it that way.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been on a little bit of the Route 66 out there in
Yeah,
Springfield, and I've been to that Wally's gas station.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
that
cool.
was pretty. That was pretty cool. Yeah. So, is there anything that you want mentioned for the people to know that I would not know to even ask you about?
I don't know. I'm looking around, see if there's anything I could talk about. I mean, I really don't
What was
know.
the hardest thing? What was your hardest thing to build up in the van?
The biggest challenge I would say, I don't know, it wasn't that bad. Okay, I would maybe the air conditioning because on my air conditioner on the back of it there is a heat exhaustion that has to go out.
Hmm.
So and also it has to breathe. The air conditioner on the back has air intake, so it has to breathe. So I on the side of the van I literally cut a square hole and put a dryer vent, and that
Train.
can you hear me?
Yeah, the train was going by. I didn't
Oh,
know.
gotcha, gotcha. Um, the dryer vent. So the hot air of the air conditioner has to escape. So I literally cut a hole and put a dryer vent on the door. So when it opens it up, it lines up. So that was very difficult figuring out how I was going to do it. Also, being able to allow the back of the air conditioner to breathe. So I would say that that took a little bit of finagling, but once I got it, it works like a charm. So I would say figuring out the air conditioning system was probably the hardest part.
Yes, Captain Jack, Picture Rock is a national park. Yeah, it is a national park.
Oh,
Um,
yes, Picture Rocks. That's right. That's right. I've been there too, up in
yeah.
the UP.
Yeah. So where do you shower and all that? Do you have a shower in your van or do you go to Planet Fitness?
So a lot. If anybody here is a van lifer themselves, you'll probably agree. I don't know. Maybe you'll disagree, but a lot of people say a shower in the van is a waste of space. I go to Planet Fitness. Um,
Yeah.
I, yeah, I have a Planet Fitness membership, $20 a month. I can go anywhere in the country that
They
there's a Planet
recently
Fitness.
raised the price to what, $23.
Did they? Oh
Yeah,
man,
because that's why I
everything's going
canceled
up.
mine. I canceled mine when I came over here. I'm like, for the next 3, 4 months, I don't need it. I'll probably
Yeah.
get it back up. So, who are your favorite channels on YouTube that you enjoy watching besides Chrome?
There was another guy which I actually met in Tampa Bay a couple of years ago. His channel is called Rolling Earth Ship.
Yes.
He was another big you familiar with him?
Hmm.
Yeah, he was another big
Christian guy.
inspiration. Yeah, I liked watching his videos. Nomadic Fanatic was awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of was watching Emin and Beck a little bit. Their channel's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Uh, oh, One Adventure at a Time. They're
Yeah.
pretty cool channel. Yeah, I met them over at El Campo with
Mm-hmm.
Chrome. But other than that, I would have to say Chrome is probably my favorite. I still watch them all the time, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, he was a real big influencer in my decision on trying to do it too, along with
Oh,
Mary.
me too,
And
big time.
yeah, except I don't, I if I could start all over again, I would get an Ecoline van, an
Yeah, no,
Econoline van.
those are
Yeah,
great
I would
vans.
definitely get something bigger than a minivan because I want a counter, I want a sink area. I want it to feel like home. I want it
Right,
to feel like a little apartment.
right,
And that's what I do with my minivan. I try and make it to where it's like my little private bedroom. My bedroom
right.
on wheels, but I also have my little stove and stuff like that. And so
Yep.
yeah, that's what I try and shoot for.
Yeah. I mean, this is my second van, so I started in the Econoliner, much smaller, and as time went on, you start saving and upgrade. You know,
Hmm. So what do you like better with this van than the other one?
the space for one, definitely like the space. This van is very dialed in. So
Okay.
the other van, I've done crazy things. The way I had my electrical set up, everything was kind of my way, and that
Hmm.
was more experimental. Where this van is, I kind of perfected it.
Okay.
So, uh, I think, me personally, I think the Econoliner overall is a better engine. I think it's a better build.
Hmm.
The vehicle itself, I think it's just a better built vehicle.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't had too many issues with this van other than those ignition coils, but it's still kind of young, if that makes sense.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
the only reason the big thing that sold me on this van, because I wanted to, there's only three options. You got the Mercedes Sprinter, the
Hmm.
Dodge Ram, and the Ford Transit. The
Yeah.
big thing that sold me on this van is that when I was in what was it, South Haven. I was in
Okay.
South Haven with my ex Sarah, girlfriend Sarah, and I
Hmm.
came across another couple that was in a Ford Transit, and it looked like they had a van build. So I pull up, I'm like, "Hey, van life, yeah," and they're like, "Oh yeah, van life," and I'm like, "Hey, van life." So it was
Okay.
never mind.
Okay. So anytime we meet up, we gotta do the van life thing, right?
That's this, yeah, VL, van life.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
yep, yep. There you go, van life. So he
Sign
was like,
language
yeah, man,
people, we we now have sign language.
yeah, van life, yo, van life. So he was like, yeah, I do the van life. He gave me a little tour, and I asked him like, so because I was in the Econoliner, and I'm like, so I want to upgrade to something bigger. What made you get the Ford Transit? And he was like, oh, blah blah blah. My family was always Ford. And then the key word, he said, the Ford Transits are a lot easier to work on.
A lot easier. What?
He said the Ford Transits are a lot easier to work on. And I
Oh,
said,
work on.
that's it.
Oh,
That's it. Because I'm a self-doer. I replaced alternators and the kind of, I'm a self-doing guy.
yeah.
So I was like, that's it. And then I've heard horror stories on the Ram that's hard to work on. So I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, well, I'm a self-doer and I like being able to work on my own stuff. So Ford Transit it is. So that's why I chose
That's
the Ford
cool.
Transit.
That's cool. Yeah, because I know I have the 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan. You would think a 2017 wouldn't be having as many problems as I'm having,
How many miles do
but
you have?
it is
How many miles do you have?
134,000. Yeah, about 134,000.
Yeah, right around there is when things start going. So I guess it
It's
makes
been
sense. But
going.
still,
I had to replace shocks. I've had to replace, of course, the front and the back brakes a couple times. I've had to replace frayed wiring last year. Every year around March, it seems my van has this thing with the moons and all that. When it hits March, my van just fades away here.
Wow.
Last year it was free wiring, and they changed the totally integrated power module. They looked for they looked at the fuel. They did everything. They couldn't figure it out. I took it to the dealership. It was frayed wiring in a 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan. 2017, I may add.
I'm
So
telling you,
I
these newer
mean,
vehicles.
huh?
I'm telling you, these newer vehicles, I swear, they're making them cheaper and cheaper, crappier and
Yes.
crappier. And that's another reason why I like the 40 Econoliner, because they're really well built and they'll last forever.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you take care of them, of course.
Yeah. I mean, and the only reason I really have the high mileage on it right now is because I went down to Florida, and of course I've been door dashing because that's
Right.
my main it's my main income. I have the second little job, and it's just something to help with taxes and stuff like that,
Right.
and just to make people feel better about me, because when you go to do something, or say something, you're like, so what do you do? And I could say, well, I have this little job and then I do that. 'Cause if you just say DoorDasher, they just think of you as this little person that don't want to work or nothing. I'm like, no, I work all the time. I'm constantly working, and
Right.
I'm a really good worker, if anybody would know me. But I really enjoyed talking with you, and it was really, really amazing. Do you have any questions or anything that want to tell or anything that you want to talk about?
Well, not really, other than I'm really looking forward to this summer to be doing all sorts of. I plan on doing a lot this summer: boating, flying,
Yeah.
traveling when I can. So, is there anybody with any questions on the comments? I don't really see. I don't
Yeah.
see the comments. So,
Let's see if anybody else has something. I'm looking through my notes. I closed up my thing. I go to look to see if I have any more notes for you. Um, do you think the gas prices will dampen your travels?
oh, totally, totally. Um, I actually made a video about when I was down in Dallas when things were getting really bad in the Ukraine. I think it will have a dampen in a lot of travels. Now, I will be going to the UP for sure. That's for sure going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If gas was cheap, I would travel more. But
Right.
with it being expensive as it is, yeah.
Right.
One of my opinions on what's going to happen, how is it going to affect us, is pe people that move around a lot that's going to slow down.
Oh yeah. Yes.
That's going to
And see,
slow down because it's
that's another reason I got that little second job, because it costs too much to even get the gas when the base pay for a DoorDash run is $2.50. So $2.50, and if somebody wants something, and if they're gonna have you drive 8 miles to get $4.25 with no tip, I ain't doing that. I'm terribly sorry. Your food, you're gonna have to go pick up your own food, your own groceries, because
right,
I ain't doing it for that amount of money. Four
right,
dollars for 8 miles, and then 8 miles coming back. So
yeah,
that's 16 miles. With gas prices are four something a gallon.
yeah. There's no
No.
way, But if
Yeah.
gas was cheaper, then yeah, I would probably do a lot more. Cushing Field
Right.
is a good 45 minutes away. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
from the city, it's even further. So, and I last year I drove out there all the time. This year, I mean, I plan on maybe going out there and staying for a week or two, just because as long as I'm not working, just because going back and forth, it's just costly.
Mm-hmm. Charlie Grace is on here. Vanlife for a roll call. Hey Charlie, how you doing? She has a van similar to yours, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's a meetup in Georgia. There's a meetup for M22. I know this year there's all kind of things that are going on. So I'm definitely gonna have to give you all the information. You'll probably be like, "Oh my God, Tina, stop it!" But there's all kind of places that people are going to be doing meetups at, and I was able to do 2 or 3 of them last year, and it was really fun. And
Well, it's one of those things. As long as I'm not working, I will do that. I'll go.
mhm,
Needless to say, if I get a call for a commercial or something, I got to do that. But as long as I'm not working and I get a lot of time off,
yep.
you know,
The
I'll
Michigan
do
meetup is in September. It's
that.
the
Okay,
M22.
that's that one. See, that sounds good. That one I could almost commit to because it's not far. It's in Michigan. I'm here,
Right.
So that sounds awesome. Where in Michigan is that happening?
Captain Jack knows all the information, along with Charlie Grace. Um, I'm putting those two on the spot because they already have their sites. I'm sort of the one that rolls in, hangs out, and sees if I can crash with somebody. Merrill, Michigan. Merrill, Michigan. I think it's the end of September, like the
Cool.
24th or 25th, for like 4 or 5 days after
Yeah,
that.
that sounds awesome.
But I would definitely send you the information. And then there's that schooly meetup in the UP. And then they go to another one. We were at the Mayberry campground in North Carolina, and yeah, but then it got changed to Georgia. There's after the Michigan meetup, they're all going to Georgia. So I don't know. Yeah, Lake of Dreams campground in Merrill, Michigan.
Wow, that could be kind of cool. Hmm.
Oh, and Mega Van Mike is here, and he's going to go to the UP again too. I went to that last year, and I'm gonna go again this year, and we're all gonna have to meet up. That's gonna be really cool. But yeah, there's gonna
Yeah,
be some meetups, and so and then maybe if I don't see you at any of that, then maybe me and you can I can drive out that way or whatever and hang out with you.
yeah, maybe Indiana Dunes or something, halfway or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
sounds
sounds
good.
cool. That sounds really good. I'm going to Wisconsin in June. Oh, that's cool, Charlie. That's really good. So where are you at now, Charlie? It's so weird calling her Charlie. I'm sorry. It just seems I'm looking at the word and I remember I had one of my first boyfriend's name was Charles. So it's like, oh God, stop. It's really weird. And the Facebook link for M22 is above. Okay. Is above. Above where? What's he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, William Lewis. Hey, William. We were just talking with Michael from Midwest Van Life, and he's in the Chicago area. And we did the whole interview on him and found out all his good information, how he works in the film industry and his van and all the places he goes and all the cool stuff he does. So yeah. So everybody's coming in at kind of the end of this. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, Mike, you're gonna have to help me because we're gonna need some stuff, more stuff to talk about. And you know
Well,
what, everybody, he has the Mr. Buddy heater. He doesn't have a diesel heater or nothing like that, but he does have a little electrical heater that he taps into. And he has an air conditioner. Do you have a microwave too? He has a microwave.
and I also have a toaster oven.
Oh my God, I'm coming over. I'm coming over, that's for sure. I'm
Microwave,
coming
toaster
over.
oven, um, cooler. I got a cooler. Yeah, I mean, I basically have everything
Hmm.
that an apartment or a house would have other than a shower.
Mm. And what kind of computer do you have? Laptop do you have?
I have a laptop, a Dell, and I use God, I can never say it, Movie. It's a editing app,
Okay.
software for that's what I use for the Midwest Van Life videos. Here's something I could show you,
Okay.
unless you've already seen it, but here I'll show you anyways. Let's see if I can prop this up, or here I'll just do this. So I got this unit here, right?
Mm-hmm.
you know. So if I just slide this over, there's my sink, and then there's my
Oh,
water,
how pretty.
and then
Oh,
if
how
I just
pretty.
if I could pop this part off altogether, there's my stove,
Oh,
dual burner stove.
uh-huh.
So when I'm not using it, here, let me set that there for a second. When I'm not using it, I just put the top back on. So now I got this table space.
Mm-hmm.
Works. Simple, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
also,
know that there's this one YouTube channel called Lady Bug Out, and she has this cute little transit, and I mean, it kind of reminds me of maybe a little bit smaller than my minivan or the same size as a minivan. And it's amazing because she has it so cute and just like a little house, and she has a sink and she has this and she has that, and she even has a way she can shower. She showers in the
yeah.
bucket
And
out.
I do have a way to shower in here if I had to, but
Hmm.
I did it maybe once. I also have a coffee maker, a little single, what are these things called? Oh, here's another thing that's kind of cool. So right under here, this just pops out. Keurig. It's like a little single Keurig thing. So that was
Oh
just
my
a very,
God, he's a coffee drinker too.
yeah. And so I got everything in here. Everything I would need. I could literally
Oh my
stock this up.
goodness, he's a coffee drinker.
I could literally stock the van with food and just hang out here for like a
What's your favorite food to cook? Do you like
steak.
cooking?
Yes, I actually do like cooking, and I like cooking in the van. I did a cooking video where I made some steak and some pasta, but I should do more cooking videos. But yeah, I love making steak, pastas, all sorts of stuff. But yes, I like cooking in the van. That's one thing I wanted to get into more. I wanted to try to cook in the van more often.
Mm. So what kind of things do you see yourself doing that you haven't experimented with yet in the van?
Well, solar panels right now. I haven't really experimented with any solar or any of that. So I think I was gonna get a 200-watt system and
Hmm.
see how it goes. So and I like doing some off-roading stuff, but I don't have four-wheel drive, so I'm kind of
Hmm.
limited what I can do there. But yeah, I'm just really just saving as much as I can by not paying that rent.
Hmm. Oh, that's amazing. I want to be able to do that too because with everything that's been going on and all my money just going towards fixing the van constantly, it's like I would rather be in it than
Right,
being without it,
right. No, I
you know.
totally understand.
And I loved when I was down south and I was in it because I had my own, you know how you have your own space and you can do with what you want and you don't have to worry about anybody else.
Right. Yeah, that's why even when I stay at like friends and families, I stay in the van overnight. I don't want to stay in your house. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll stay at my dad's once in a while here and there, and he'll be like, "Why don't you just stay inside?" I'd be like, "No, I'm happy in my van." you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I get it. It's nice to have your own little hut that you could escape to
Mm-hmm.
at night.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get it back because I'm gonna clean up the minivan and then just I went and I bought what I'm gonna be experimenting with is you know how the little green cylinders now are like $5, $5 to $6 each. I
Yeah,
said screw that. I'm not paying that.
yeah,
I went and I got that 11-pound cylinder that yeah, 11-pound propane tank where you can just hook it up to your little stove and whatever. I'm gonna be
it's 20
doing
pounds.
that instead.
You will save an enormous money on propane if you go with the 20 pound and get the hose.
Yeah,
Totally,
well, I have a 20
totally.
pounder at my daughter's, but with the minivan, that's just way too big.
Yeah. You
It's just
almost got
way
to
too
figure
big.
out.
So that's why
You
I
almost
got
got to. You almost got to figure out a way where it can be mounted outside in a box or something. That's how I have mine. It's
Mm-hmm.
the tank itself is outside because I didn't, a lot of people didn't like want propane tanks inside.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am tapping into my gas tank, but I'm not comfortable with a propane tank inside. Ironic, but anyways, for me it was more about space,
Oh
keeping
yeah.
it outside, right? But
Yeah, I know.
no,
That's what I'm worried about.
you will
But
definitely save an enormous amount of money just by having the 20-pound
yeah,
propane tank.
because before they were only, $2 or $3 each, but I swear to God, now they're like I checked, they're like $6
Yeah, yeah,
for one
here it was like
canister.
yeah, it
And
was
I'm
like
like,
12 bucks
there's
for two.
no way.
Mm-hmm. They
Like,
went up.
yeah, I'm like, there's no way, there's no way. And I told everybody, I'm like, I don't care. If I'm not if you see me in the van, and I showed him, I says I went to Ace Hardware store and I got that darn tank, and I says for this year, and I says I also want to try the one burner stove because I had the two burner stove and I was using the two burner stove in my minivan. I was doing it
Right,
in the mini, and I'm like, I can do it, but it's just so big and bulky
right.
where I want to try that one little burner. I saw the gas one little stove and the flame is so good. Where on my little two burner stove, it's just teeny, teeny, and it takes forever. And I'm like, I just want a better flame. So
Right,
when I saw that gas one, and I'm like, oh, I love that flame. The flame is what got me.
right.
I'm like, I have to get that flame. So yeah, so that's two of the new things that I've got going for this year.
Nice,
I
very
can't
nice.
wait to be trying that.
I'm gonna try getting into fishing this year,
Oh
and
yeah,
and I want to learn how to cook fish and how to flay them and do all
that's
that.
what I wanted to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
get into
Do
that.
you gotta watch Mav? Do you watch Mav?
Can't say I do.
He's from Minnesota. I will send you his YouTube. You will love him. Do you watch Foresty Forest?
No, I don't.
Oh my God, you love him too. Oh my God, you
Okay,
will love
all
him
right.
too. I gotta send you both of those.
Yeah, send it to me.
You're
I'll
gonna be
start
getting
watching tonight.
slammed with all kind of links from me. Sorry, but you have
Oh,
to
it's
watch
okay.
these guys. Mav is he does the his channel, and he has the GoPro, and he has like different mounts. I mean, he's really, really good with the editing and everything. And he does the ice fishing, he does the ice camping, he does the truck camping. He bought a Volkswagen Bug with the camper on top of, I mean, and he cooks at night. He even goes to some of the restaurants. When I first started watching him, he went to McDonald's, and right in their parking lot, he cooked the McRib better than they did. So he would go to all these different restaurants and show, just pull out. He had this drawer system in the back of his truck, drawer system, and he would just start cooking outside of his van, outside of his truck. Sorry, and it was just
Sounds
so
awesome.
amazing. And he does the ice fishing. He does all kind of stuff. And Foresty Forest, he started out in a minivan, and he had um a slow cooker. He had a slow cooker in his minivan,
Wow,
and
that's
he
awesome.
would make these amazing dishes that everyone fell in love with. And then he would do these mountain hikes because he's from Canada. And he actually met Chrome. I'm surprised you're not connected with Foresty Forest.
Well, yeah, no, I gotta check it out. You got me
Oh my
interested.
God, he's amazing. He went from the slow cook after he met Chrome. He got out of the minivan and he went and he got him a Chevy, the the van that is comparable to the Econoline from Chevy. I'm sure you know it, but I can't think of the name of it right offhand. But he got a bigger van right after he met Chrome, and he's amazing. And he recently just got a puppy, a little puppy. He just got a little Jack Russell. And I'm telling you, these two guys are so amazing with what they do, the hiking and the food and the fishing and I don't do. I mean, I like going on hikes in national parks or whatever, but I don't do what these guys do. But
Right.
they're really good at what they do. And people will be like asking me, "Why do you watch them, Tina? They're young guys. You're kind of weird watching young guys, Tina." I'm like, "They're good. I don't care. They're good, and they're amazing." And
Hey, you know what? My buddies thought I was weird for watching Chrome when I was at
really,
the apartment. I'm watching Van City Van Life, and they're
uh-huh.
like, "What are you? You're watching some guy living in a van? What's wrong with you, you weirdo?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, weirdos unite. See, he's saying it's awesome, you know."
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, and then when I saw your channel, and I'm like, "Wow, he does all this stuff and goes and has this and does that, and he works on the film thing," and I'm like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "I gotta talk with him and show everybody this guy." So yeah, I'm showing you to everyone in the chat, and then I'm going to show you a whole bunch of other people too. So,
That sounds awesome. Are you able to see how many people are in this, like watching right now?
uh, I can see 7. I don't know if anybody else sees anything more because because sometimes the live stream doesn't do all that great for me. We had up to, I think, 12,
Wow.
but I'm not for sure right now. If anybody sees any more, let me know. But right now, it looks for me at 7, and we've almost been on here for 2 hours. We've almost, yep,
That's-
7.
Time
Okay.
flies.
So yeah, so this is amazing. But yeah, you will love them. I mean, you will. They are young guys, but they are so amazing. It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, a lot of the guys watch the little girls in the bikinis or whatever because they're hot and they're doing all their silly stuff. But the for me, this is more. I would love just to be able to meet them and like go on a hike or food because they can cook. They know how to cook really good and
Right.
they know what they're doing, and it's just really fascinating to me. Just fascinating. I just enjoy it. And it's like addicting. It's really addicting.
Wow. Sounds cool.
Shannon Crab is laughing. Warmer than Michigan. Ha ha. Hey, she's in South Carolina, and I bet she's having the time of her life because it is so freezing. I'm sure you can relate because it's freezing here. It's free. I'm sure it's freezing there too in Chicago.
Yeah, it's a little chilly tonight. I'll be running the buddy heater for sure, but
hmm
it should be warming up here real soon.
So you're not afraid of the buddy heater?
No,
Do you
not at all.
do you leave your fan going?
No, no. I'll have the buddy. If I don't have to run the buddy heater overnight, I won't. I don't like
hmm
to run it overnight, but when it's really cold out, you kind of have no choice. The
You
key
remind
is
me of
air cool.
Eric.
I'm sorry,
You remind me of Eric.
Eric who?
Nomadic Fanatic.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Um,
your face a little bit.
the buddy heater, it does. They say it's carbon monoxide safe. Um, I have a carbon monoxide detector
You
that I
should
have.
still leave your windows cracked just a little bit. You should always
Exactly.
do that.
And I that's what I do with the max fan. I crack the max fan all the time. And sometimes I'll open up more to make it cooler in the van, and sometimes I'll have it less to keep it warmer in the van. But
hmm
no, I've never had a problem with the buddy heater. This is like my second one. I had one that crapped out, but
hmm
I have never had an issue with it. Heating the van was never a problem. It's cooling the van that's harder. Warming the
Yeah.
van was easy. The body heater and propane just works great. I've never had really an issue with condensation. However, when I started my build, I did do a spray inside, which was like a sound deadening. I forget exactly what it was, but it was supposed to help with condensation, stopping condensation.
Okay.
So I've never really had an issue with the buddy heater. The only thing that I would complain about, honestly,
hmm
the condensation on the windows that are in the morning when it's super cold.
hmm
The windows, how it's it's
Yeah.
on the inside, not the outside. That's the only thing that sucks. Other than that, buddy heater works just fine.
Wow. See, now
Yeah.
in order for me to get used to mine, I pretended it was my own little personal fireplace. because
Right, right,
everybody was I was watching everybody and they'd be like, yeah, we turn it on for an hour or two and then we shut it off.
right.
And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. You go to bed maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah,
and so you shut it off around 11, and then you freeze to death until you wake up.
right, exactly. That
So that
sucks.
didn't make any sense to me. So everybody was scaring the crap out of me, thinking, you're gonna die. You have to shut it off. And I'm
I
like,
mean, it can be dangerous. Like, I mean, it is kind of close to my bed. So I mean, I've never had an issue with a fire with the buddy heater. I've
hmm
never burnt myself on it. My ex-girlfriend Sarah did. That's just because she's a dummy. But um, I've never had an issue and I've never been scared of it. Now, that doesn't mean something can happen. Of course, something can happen. In the middle of the night, my blanket could lean over and start a fire. Of
that's
course, that
what
can
I
happen.
was afraid of.
Right, you're right. And in a smaller space, I can imagine it's even scarier. But
hmm
I mean, I just watch what I'm doing. I've never had an issue, and I keep airflow. I actually love it with the airflow because it's nice fresh air, but warm in the van. It's awesome, you know.
hmm
But yeah, the buddy heater works just great for me. I have no people told I've had a couple people say, "Oh, you should look into the diesel heaters." I'm like, why? It's not broken. I don't need to fix it. It works great,
hmm
So
Well, I know Chrome had the Wave 3 heater, and he said that that was way better
yeah, he
than the
did.
Mr. Buddy heater.
I've thought about getting it, but I just haven't yet. Maybe one
Yeah,
day I
because it's
will.
like $300-400. It's probably
Right,
500 by now.
right, and maybe one day I will just to experiment, and I'll do a video on it. But for now, the buddy here, I don't know. I'm happy with it, so I have
You
no
should do
reason
a
to.
video on your Mr. Buddy heater and how you stay warm at night.
So I do have a video called Temperature Control,
Oh,
and I go through just about everything. It was right before I tapped into the gas tank, so I talked about my idea of tapping into the gas tank
hmm
for it. So, but I do have a temperature control. I could do an update video, temperature control update. And here's how it all works now, type thing. I don't
hmm
So yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't know that you just use a Mr. Buddy heater. I had no idea. I'm thinking since you were so high tech with everything else, I thought for sure that you had a split or something else.
No, I keep it simple. I'm high tech, but I keep it simple. If that
Wait a
makes
minute
sense.
now.
Yeah, I don't know. That does make sense, but yeah, I try to keep it as simple as I can, but everything just works great. My van is very dialed in, so to speak. There's really no other than the solar that I'm going to add. I don't really need to add anything. Everything just works. Everything's just been working flawlessly. So it's very
Mhm.
dialed. You know.
Mm. So that was, well, thank you so much for doing this
Yeah. No.
fast
Thank you. It was
little
fun.
um, live stream with me. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that we actually finally did get to talk and hang out. And
Yeah.
I'm learning about all these different channels, and that's what I love. And it's like if I can get other people to see some of the good channels to watch and we can all learn from them or at least
Right.
enjoy them all together, then it's a win-win for everybody.
Right. And my channel is not. This is not. I'm never going to say this is how to van life. My channel is more about this is how I van life. Take it
Right.
away.
And that's
Right.
just like with me too,
Right.
because
Yeah.
everybody, I mean, there's so many people that are going, oh, everything's wonderful and glorious and la la la, and everything's just, and then you've got people a little different that might not be traveling, not may not be a total nomad,
Right.
but we still enjoy it and we still love the concept of being in the van and trying to
Right.
do it simply and still trying to figure out how to work and how to travel if we ever get a chance to travel.
Right. And obviously, traveling is the ultimate goal, but
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm a full-blown Chicago boy. Chicago will always be my home base, and this is where I live.
Hmm.
This is where I live. This
Hmm.
is where I work. This is where my friends and family are. But I'm a Chicago nomad. I will not. I'm never going to leave Chicago, but I will travel and go on like
Hmm.
vacations as much as I humanly can, as
Right.
much as I can. Because this is about freedom. It's not necessarily about the money. It's not necessarily. It's about honestly, it's about evading the traps of society and paying rent and all this whatever. But
Hmm.
it's about freedom and enjoying life. That's
Yeah.
yeah. It's about not having to work just to pay bills, to pay for a place that we never stay at, or that
Right.
we're
Well,
never
I'm
at.
still working on that part of it
Yeah,
because I'm still trying to pay. I'm still working on trying to pay bills and all that.
right. The best decision I made in my life was when I got rid of the van or got rid of the apartment, and that was after I did the month thing,
Hmm.
and I was working. It worked so well for my job that I
Hmm.
finally said, "What the?" I went back to the apartment after that month experiment, and I was like, "Wow, I do not miss this place at all. Like I didn't miss it at all."
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
finally said, "Why am I paying to be here with a roommate that I can't stand?" No, he's my
Right.
best friend and everything, but I couldn't stand living with him. And
Hmm.
it just made sense. Everything just made sense. So I said, "Screw it, I'm done. I'm done."
Yeah.
You know, I threw away more than half of my shit, and I went and I just moved in the van, and I saved up a bunch of money, and I was able to buy this van outright. Built this one,
Hmm.
lived in this one for a while, for a year, saved up a bunch of money, bought an airplane. you know, Saved
God.
more money, bought a boat.
Oh shit.
So,
So you're
and
just
craft.
rolling in dough.
Well, and just I mean, every year here, it's like you just save. You save. You don't spend it on
Mhm.
things that don't have any return,
Right.
like rent.
Hmm.
I was never there. I was barely ever there. I was always working or doing some project over here or doing this over there. Van life just made sense for me, so that's why I did it.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right. Well, this was wonderful talking with you, and I'll
Yeah,
send you
you
the
too.
links that I want to show you because I'm sure you might enjoy them. I'm hoping that you would really get a kick out of Mav
Yeah,
and Foresty Forest. Foresty Forest actually has two channels, so he's really good. But
yeah.
yeah,
I'll check. I'll
well,
I'll check them out and subscribe right away.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna jump off of here. Everybody, you guys all have a good night, and it was great talking with you, Michael. And keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. We should do this
And
again. This
we
is cool.
can probably do a meetup sometime this year if we're not at one of the campground the meetup things. And me and you can hang out and maybe do a video together or something.
Sounds good. You take care, Tina. Take care of yourself.
All right. Well, it's nice meeting you.
You too. Have a good one.
All right. Bye bye. All right. Bye, guys. Everybody have a good night. Thank you very much for watching. Talk with everyone later. Bye bye. If it'll end. Oh my God. Yes. And broadcasting.